What's up, everyone? Pep Man Matt Morrow. Welcome to week one of the season, Football Focus Weekly. Tonight's show is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to finish up our conference previews. We'll get into the Dirty Dozen, our ranking of area teams. We'll get into our week one previews. We'll have the predictions that everybody loves. And then we'll get into slime time. So sit back and relax. The crew will be joining me shortly, and we'll get the show started. Thanks for being here. This is Football Focus Weekly with CFI, Charlotte Football Insiders. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Football Focus Weekly. I'm the Pet Man, Matt Morrow. The family will be joining me shortly. We had a lot of engagements pop up today. So we'll be getting the show started here. I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get going. There you go. Tonight you see the focus of the show right there. We'll start with the football only conference preview, which is literally a conference the state created for football only. So we'll go through that. We'll have our Rocky River Conference preview after that, the Yadkin Valley Conference, the Dirty Dozen at 8 o'clock, which is our area ranking of teams throughout the metro area. And then we'll get into select week one game previews. We'll do our week one predictions. And then, of course, we end with the famous slime time. So, that being said, let's get into the football-only conference. So, in the football-only conference, this is what it looks like. So, it's a collection of schools that play football on a smaller classification level, 1A football. And they're put together because a lot of, 1A schools around the state don't necessarily play football. And it's kind of hard to have a conference when you got like half your teams that don't play football. So they made this conference only for football. And these are my predictions for that conference. So going into it, I've got Mountain Island predicted to finish first in the conference. I've got Community School of Davidson projected to finish second. Pine Lake projected to finish third, and then on down the line with Carver, Bishop McGuinness, Christ the King, and Winston-Salem Prep. So out of those schools, I chose to focus on, the schools that are, kind of close to us here in the Charlotte metro area and highlight a player. With Mountain Island defensive lineman Ashton Miller, I've interviewed him a couple times throughout his career, this being his senior year. I think he's an excellent defensive lineman. He's got offers from several local schools, and I think he's really going to finish off his career with a bang at Mountain Island, and in my prediction, winning the conference. But Community School of Davidson is a very good school as well. Very good team. They're well coached. Quarterback AJ Sirianni. It's his senior year. He's a very talented kid. He always tags me in his film, so I'm always able to keep up with how he's looking, and he looks really good going into this year. And I think of course, Community School Davidson, I believe they won the conference last year, if I'm not mistaken. So they're going to be a really good team once again, in my opinion. Pine Lake, Coach Trotter and those guys, always fun to visit Pine Lake. If you ever want a maple bacon donut from their food truck, oh man, it'll change your life. Good gracious. But running back Gabe Bolivar, I think is going to be a guy that helps that Pine Lake offense run well. I like what I saw out of his highlights looking at his film. I think he's going to be a good player. And then Christ the King. I met their head coach. Coach, I don't know if I think he might have moved on. But their coach last year, really, really good guy. I met him at a camp. And they had a good season. They made the playoffs last year. I don't think a lot of people knew that. But the linebacker and offensive lineman, Ethan Garcia, hard-working kid. Every time I check him out on Twitter, he's always training and trying to do better. And I love him. I love him on offensive line because he plays to the echo of the whistle. And it's always fun to watch his highlight films, because you're gonna see a player that really loves the game. And I think he's gonna be obviously a key for the Crusaders this upcoming season. Before we move on, I see I've got a couple of comments here. Oh man, chat administrator, I'm glad you're here, man. Well, we're going to talk about when we get to the week 1 previews, the forecast, because all of a sudden we've already got people looking to move games in week 1. I mean, we were talking about it on Twitter, and a part of it is, they don't want to get their fields messed up, but another part of it is it's about the gate money, because these guys, and I say guys, I mean schools, football brings in obviously the most money in a lot of these teams' cases. And if you're playing in the rain, I mean, you can play in the rain, obviously, but there's not that many people are going to sit in the rain, and enjoy a football game. So, part of this moving the game stuff is about, wanting to get the most money out of it as well, to help, fund all of the athletic programs. So yeah, it's definitely a factor we'll talk about a little bit more later on. Jason Bass, week 1 hype. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, it's finally here. We've had I was talking with one of the officials before the J.M. Robinson scrimmage last week, and, we were just talking about how long this offseason felt, because last year we played 2 seasons in 1 year, which was insane. But, the cause and effect of that was everyone was worn out, by the end of last year. But then you got to about April and you're like, okay, well, let's, get this thing going again, man. We're ready to really, get going again. And, we had to wait and wait and wait. You got through the camp season, 7-on-7 season. I coached offensive line, and that time of year was always felt like a tease to me. Because as offensive lineman, there's only so much stuff you can do with steps and hand placement and technique. Don't get me wrong, all of it is very important, but you want to start contacting people, and you got to try to keep your linemen in check. When you get to about spring practice in May. So absolutely. All right, let's see. We got some more comments here. Chat administrator Lake Norman moved up to tomorrow. Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams kind of outside of Charlotte were moving their games first. I think Lake Norman is the closest one I've seen that's moved their game to tomorrow. So if your game is moving to tomorrow, let us know. I think one effect of that is it's going to affect the Memorial Stadium Charlotte kickoff night crowd, because the big thing about that was the only game in town. So now if we got some Charlotte metro area games starting to move, some people that might have been coming to Memorial Stadium may, just stay at their home game. So we'll talk about it as time goes on here. Big Shelby. Well, obviously Big Shelby, you're not the only one. Everyone had some stuff going on today, and that's fine. I used to do this stuff, by myself, a long time ago before CFI. So I can sit here and ramble on and give my thoughts, and everyone will get just mad at me, which tends to happen anyway. So. Patrick C, 100% right on the gate money. Schools are still trying to recover from COVID. Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's something that we haven't really talked about that much is what that did to everyone from a financial standpoint. I'm glad that the state of North Carolina gave us a little bit of relief, from the endowment fund that they have, but still, there's still a lot of holes because funding a full athletic program is tough. It is very tough, man. And it takes a lot of money, especially now with inflation. Inflation has hit, football too. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, let's move on to our next conference here, and that is the Rocky River Conference. So, looking at the Rocky River Conference, I've got Monroe in my prediction as number 1, and the quarterback Camoney Robinson is a really talented kid. I saw him up close this summer up at the one of the Charlotte camps, their Camp Lit series that they were doing. I think he throws a beautiful football, strong arm, especially for his size. He's not the biggest quarterback, but he's very accurate. And for Monroe, they have this tradition of a really athletic, fun offensive team to watch, and I don't see that changing this year. Forest Hills and wide receiver Jarrell Boulder. What a dynamic kid, man! And this kid just burst onto the scene, starting in camp season, and he's done an amazing job. He's got a ton of offers, especially from ACC schools. You saw a little bit of him. I've seen a little bit of him on his highlights, and athletic kid, playmaker. Really catches the ball well, and when he catches the ball, he turns upfield and can make stuff happen. And that's the thing about him, a dynamic player with the football in his hands, playing for a Forest Hills team that, when I saw their Jamboree highlights, they got some guys that can go. He's not the only one, so they're gonna be fun to watch this year. Parkwood and quarterback Cam Enos. It feels like Cam has been there forever. He is a really accurate quarterback. He has continued to grow throughout his career, and he's got some guys to throw to that we'll highlight, of course, throughout the season. But he's a talented young man as well. I got them predicted 3rd here. These top 3 teams, man, you talk about fun to watch offenses. I think all 3 of these guys will be entertaining to watch in this conference this year. Number 4, West Stanley. I've got quarterback / middle linebacker. Now, this is why a quarterback that plays middle linebacker, man, and that's rare. That's rare. And Jesse Boone, you get a shout out from me because that's tough. You're literally the quarterback of the offense and the defense. And of course, middle linebacker gets everything thrown at him. You can see power run one week and then spread the next week, and then you got to turn around and play quarterback. So, Jesse Boone, you're the man. You're the man. And then number 5, Anson, athlete Tony Gainey. I'm gonna tell you something. He's a running back first, in my opinion. And when you look at his film, you'll see why. He is one of the more dynamic kids that I've seen in this area that I honestly didn't know much about. When I started looking at Anson and seeing who their playmakers were, I was really impressed by Tony Gainey and his film. He's a heck of a player, man. So that's what I think about the Rocky River Conference. I think that's going to be a fun, excuse me. I think it's going to be a fun conference to watch. Like I said, those top 3 teams, they play a style of offense that's fun and entertaining. With some guys that can really throw it. I mean, I didn't put Forest Hills quarterback up there, but he's a heck of a player too. And Brady Hibbard, coming over from Providence previously. So Good stuff right here in the Rocky River Conference. You guys in these comments, man. All right, David Brooks, thank you for watching, David. Go Jackets. I think Forest Hill is going to shock the Rocky River Conference and take it home this year. It won't be a shock to me. maybe most people that don't know about what Forest Hills has this year would be shocked, but no, that wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, I've got you guys second, and I think Coach Deese has some really good talent. And they've been working. I mean, they've been working primarily in silence, but I mean, with Jarrell getting the offers that he did, shone a light, at least for me, into that program. And there's a lot more talent that we'll continue to highlight throughout the season. Oh my gosh, you guys at Shelby and Kings Mountain. Oh, we'll get there. It's one of the highlighted games, and I promise you, we are going to talk about it when we get to that segment. But yeah, there's a South Point and Kings Mountain and Shelby, Gaston County, Cleveland County. If you're not on this football Facebook group, there is a lot of smack talk that goes on in there. If you want to get in it, let us know. Post a comment. We'll send it to you. It helps you pass the time. I'll put it that way. It really helps you pass the time. All right, so let's move on to our next conference. We're a little ahead of schedule, but that's okay. All right, Yadkin Valley Conference. I had some kids reach out, and they were asking, last week when we were going to talk about this conference in particular. So this is what we got on the Yadkin Valley. So number one, I've got J.M. Robinson, and obviously their player to watch, defensive lineman David Hobbs. If you don't know who he is, he's gotten offers from the biggest schools. I mean, literally Alabama, Georgia, several other big Power 5 schools that are out there recruiting this young man, and he just shot out of a cannon last season, with his play, and really it's about his play and his size. He's got great size to project on the next level into being a big time football player. So he's definitely the guy to watch. Not that they don't have others, and they do. We'll highlight them throughout the year. But he'll be the guy to watch for J.M. Robinson this season. Another defensive lineman from North Stanley, he's a former CFI camp MVP, defensive lineman DJ Watkins. He came to our camp in December, right after the season last year. And, he won an MVP award. And from there, he's just continued to, really do well, had a really good offseason. An interior, more of a defensive tackle. But he's explosive off the football, uses his hands well, and he can get a good interior pass rush. That's going to be the guy from North Stanley who I have projected second in the Yadkin Valley. Number 3, Mount Pleasant. They look really good in their scrimmage against Concord last week. Athlete Keegan Moose. If you saw our highlights, you saw him make a lot of plays. I think in the film he's wearing number 9. But he can play running back. He can play some DB. I think he can split out and play some wide receiver as well. Really, really talented kid. That comes from a good family. He's a talented special player. He's going to be definitely the guy, for Mount Pleasant to watch this season. Coming in at number 4, we have Albemarle, and I've highlighted offensive lineman and defensive lineman Miles Gregory. Another kid who, when I was researching on Twitter, really works hard. I think he's got, it's not one of those things about size necessarily with Miles. It's, you can tell he's a leader, and you can tell that he really wants to do well. I mean, he's training, in several videos I saw him training, and, he's got his teammates with him at camps and all of those different things. And that's what you want to see, man. Especially from a program like Albemarle, who has a great tradition. Hopefully Miles will be able, to be a part of a rebirth down there in Albemarle for sure. South Stanley, linebacker Peyton Gentry, he led the team in sacks last year. South Stanley had a tough year last year, but, with Peyton Gentry returning to the team, from the linebacker. He's more of an edge, I guess you would say, but linebacker spot is what he's listed as. I think that'll help them in their efforts to kind of try to rebound and have a better season this year. And then Union Academy wide receiver C.J. Hartley, as a freshman last year, he had a really really good season, and his coach was really speaking highly of him. I saw the interview he did with Union County Football's Tim Winters, who did a good job, and he really shouted out C.J. Hartley's praises. So that'll be a kid to watch this season for Union Academy, and there are great people at Union Academy. I went down there and covered one of their games when they played Mountain Island a couple years ago. Really, really nice people, and I wish the best for them, this upcoming season. Okay, all right, we got a couple more comments right here. Let's see, Tommy Wilson saying, hopefully Hobbs comes to Carolina. Well, he's got a number of choices. That brings me to another point. It'd be great to see, more of our top talent stay in the state of North Carolina. That would be awesome. It seems like for years our top end talent will get out of the state and go somewhere else. But hopefully we can start to see some of those top guys go to a North Carolina, NC State, or even a Wake Forest or Charlotte, for examples, and make our in-state schools, even better than what they are already. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that. Big Shelby's not that bad. He's not that bad. All right, so let's see here. We've got a couple more comments about. We won't talk about that. We talking about Monroe beating Shelby, but no. See, scrimmage results, and we can talk about this for a second. Scrimmage results are always hard to determine because some schools treat them like games and they play their guys the whole time. And then some schools, will, put their first string in for a couple series and they take them out and then they put in, other guys. Their second string guys or their backup guys or guys that they're trying to look at and determine if they're going to, be a contributor or what their role is, going to be on the team, for the upcoming season. So it's hard. It's, you can say someone beat, someone in a scrimmage and, yeah, but did they beat, a second string corner, or when it was 1-versus-1, did they really win the scrimmage? Did the second team come in and give up a lead? That's really, really tough to evaluate. So it's hard to kind of hold scrimmages against, certain teams, for sure. I've got some help. I can take a breath.
Pep.
I thought you were going to be the last one on.
Maybe we'll talk about that later on tonight. Good night. Anyhow, pretty crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got another comment. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I don't know who you are. Who is this right here? Mooney? Money? I guess money. Maybe that's money. I wasn't there, so I can't speak to, how that was done. But like I said, every program will treat a scrimmage differently. So, you can't criticize the team for how they want to, treat a scrimmage. And we would never do that because I'll tell you, I've coached under 3 different head coaches who all treated scrimmages a different way. So if you want to keep the starters in and, build up, some good rapport going into game 1, more power to you. And nobody would blame anyone for that. How did you treat scrimmages?
Yeah, Pep, I'm going to be honest with you. We did 2 scrimmages like what people do today. My first scrimmage was always a joint practice, kind of like with what the Panthers and the Patriots are doing with another team. We went with Vance several years when Aaron Brand was there. We went with Huff when Jenkins, of course, my last year at Central Cabarrus. And that was the scrimmage that I wanted to see what my guys were made out of. We went really hard. We were able to do a lot of things. And it was because I knew I didn't have to give that tape to my week 1 opponent. And then the Friday night, we would do a scrimmage. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. My entire goal was to get my seconds in there. Because I knew that was the film that I was going to give away, but also because I didn't want to get my guys hurt. You get a concussion on Friday night, you can't play the following Friday night. And, funny story, my first year as a head coach, 2014, we're scrimmaging A.L. Brown High School. And A.L. Brown was pretty good. And we had a team that ended up going on to play in the third round of the playoffs and was five plays away, essentially, from being able to be a really good South Point team. But Mike Newsom had put in the paper that week that he was really excited to be scrimmaging us because I had come from Concord High School. And they were playing the Bell game at that point in time, the first week of the season. And so his quote in the paper was, I'm really excited to scrimmage against East because I imagine their offense is going to be a lot like what we'll see with Coach Padgett and the Spiders on Friday night. So me being who I am, I see that on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever the Salisbury Post came out. So I called up Coach Padgett and I said, hey, Coach, this is what I need from you. I told him what Mike's quote was. I need your fourth quarter script from last year's Bell game. So he sent me his 12 plays that they ran in the fourth quarter. And honest to God, true story, we put them in Friday afternoon, and we ran those same 12 plays back to back. I think we got in about 27 or 28 of them. But I, the scrimmages were important to me. I wanted to see other guys play.
Well said, man.
And sticking to Kannapolis at the same time.
Imagine that. You guys in these comments are something else, man. I tell you. So, hey, you guys in the comments, that's the taste of what's going on the Facebook page I was talking about. But anyway, all right. Well, we're still ahead of schedule a little bit, but we'll move on. We're gonna go and start talking about the Dirty Dozen, and the Dirty Dozen is the ranking that I do.
Pet Man's ranking. Let that be known.
I said I. This is the area school ranking that I do of Charlotte Metro area teams, public and private combined, in the adjacent counties of Gaston, Cleveland, Mecklenburg, Union, and Cabarrus. All right. In the COVID year, I started including the upstate of South Carolina, but this year we're going to kind of go back. I'll do the county rankings starting next week. That'll include the upstate.
We still got a couple of our guys down there in the upstate, Pat.
Well, we're gonna do the county rankings. We'll do the county rankings, but I don't want to, put them in there too close. Chat administrator. So I'll tell you this, chat administrator. If there's an Iredell County football team that is worthy of being in the dozen, I'll include them. Is that fair?
Dag. Ouch.
I'm just saying.
Throwing a little shade there.
Not in
that comment.
No, it's not. I'm just speaking the truth. I mean, who in Iredell County would be in the dozen right now? I mean, I always used to say as a coach, you can talk with your pads. Talk with your pads, and then that says everything you need to know. So you would say that. You would say that.
Who does Mooresville play this week? They got Davie County. They played Davie County.
Yeah, Davie County.
And then Statesville is playing Carson. Those are the two good teams.
Yeah. I saw a prediction for that game that I didn't think was going to be accurate, but we'll talk about that later. I'm on, Big Shelby. I thought you were going to be here for this. You know you love this part of the show.
You already know I got Big Shelby.
All right, here we go. Dirty Dozen, sponsored by the Queen City Senior Bowl, because these are the same counties the Queen City Senior Bowl will select players from later on this season.
Pep, you know I love you, Pep. You know I love you. But is that the Charlotte Christian varsity team at 6 and the Charlotte Christian JV team at 8, or?
Uh-oh. Hold on a minute. We're gonna make a slight adjustment. Hold on. Kenneth, talk about something.
So, for the first time ever, my 2 little boys are playing soccer. They wanted to play soccer before, and they played football instead, but now they're playing soccer this year. So a couple of weeks ago, Coach reached out to my wife because she'd signed them up. Hey, I'm Coach so-and-so. I'm going to be coaching your boy. Really excited to do it. And we were excited because he seemed to be pretty organized. And then about a week ago, he texted my wife and said, hey, the 2 practice times on Wednesday night and Saturdays have changed. No big deal, an hour difference or whatever it is either day. Well, this morning, my wife forwards me a text from him saying that the time for practice tonight had changed once again, and also for Saturday. I'm like, God, man, Concord Parks and Rec Center, let's get your stuff together. And then about an hour later, my wife texts me. She says, check your email, and there's a forward from the rec center, the Parks and Rec Center here in Concord, that says you no longer have a head soccer coach for your 9 and 10-year-old youth soccer team. So I emailed the lady back, but she said, but this is your practice time on Wednesday and Friday. So I emailed the lady back. I said, hey, just quick question. The soccer practice times for tonight and Saturday are different than the new soccer practice times that the former coach sent out just about an hour or 2 ago. Which one is right? She said, well, mine's right. Well, all the while, my wife is texting me that the former coach now is texting her trying to get the kids to go to his other practice somewhere else. So I emailed the lady back, and I said, all right, now we don't have a coach right now, and I'm not coaching 9 and 10-year-old youth soccer. I said, what are we going to do here in 7 hours when all these kids show up and there is no coach here? And the lady said, well, we'll have staff there tonight, but after tonight, y'all going to have to figure out a coach to do it. So about 5 o'clock, my wife is getting ready to leave to go take the boys to practice. She sends me a text or an email that says, now our practice times have been moved to Friday night and Saturday morning. The 4th practice change. Apparently, we now have a coach. So Dad stepped up. So Dad, whoever you are, thank you for your service, because it is not for me. But it's been a mess, Pep.
That is Early Slime, brought to you by the injured Kenneth McClamrock.
And then I didn't want to jump on too early while I knew you were doing the preseason stuff, because, we've kept it 3 weeks in a row where we haven't pissed off a single person. So I didn't want to cause the first bit of anger or pettiness. So I decided to stay off until you got through everything.
We'll talk about that later. All right, let's get back to. Thank you for. I'd saved the wrong version anyway. Technical issues. All right, it's week 1 for everybody. Okay, it's week. Even though we've been going for a while, it's still week 1. Shake the rust off. All right, so that's what we got. Chambers at 1. Huff at 2, Providence Day 3, Catholic 4, Weddington 5, Christian 6, Shelby 7, Butler 8, Mallard Creek 9, Hickory Ridge 10, Kings Mountain 11, and Ardrey Kell at 12. And this was hard. Like, I'll tell you now, Crest and South Point were right on the edge. There were a couple other schools that were really close. That I was considering. I'm trying to go back to my notes and look at a couple of others here. But Crest and South Point, I think, would be the top 2 that were the closest of making it in. But like Big Shelby has a lot to say. Okay, so here's what I always say. Derek Chambers, post your rankings.
God, dog. I was thinking the same thing. When did you come up with these rankings? My exact thoughts. I agree.
Everybody post your rankings. I'd love to see yours and some explanation there. All right, so I'll address a couple things. Charlotte Christian at 6. No one has been talking about Charlotte Christian. If you take a look at that team and take a look at that roster and look at the talent on that roster and really look and see what colleges are interested in some of these kids, you would have probably a little better understanding of why I've got Christian at 6. Big Shelby, yeah, he's coming. He's coming. Christian above Mallard Creek. Well, I'll say this: some other polls have Mallard Creek a lot lower than 9. So I take a look at polls across the state.
Yeah,
I think I've got them higher than most people.
Yeah, I think teams that could definitely be moving up this ranking, Pep. I mean, we'll start with Mallard Creek. I think that Mallard Creek has an incredibly fast defense. We've talked about that ad nauseum almost on this show, how good their defense is. A big question mark to me is how quickly will their offense catch up to that? And that's not a knock. God knows some people think you're throwing shade when all you're doing is stating the obvious. Mallard Creek's defense is really, 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 really good. I think other teams that are going to find their way in here that maybe are bubble teams. You mentioned 2 bubble teams. Pep, I think A.L. Brown is going to be the best A.L. Brown wonder team that we have seen maybe in the past decade. They have a ton of offensive explosive talent. If they can find just a couple of pieces, which the coaches seem confident in, they're going to be an extremely good team. Right now, I think preseason, this is as good of a poll as you can put out, right? Like nobody really knows where they are. We know where we think they're going to be. We've heard about scrimmages. You guys have seen scrimmages. But once again, what is that coach's philosophy going into a scrimmage? Did he have a kid who had to make up some days because he missed a couple practices? Or do they have kids who were a little bit banged up so they didn't play in a scrimmage, but they would have played in a real Friday night game last week? But obviously Chambers, Huff, Providence Day, it's tough to argue against those 3. I mean, they're just so top heavy when it comes to Division I talent. Charlotte Catholic, who is just hard to beat, period. I mean, they just play such exceptional football. Weddington, who is up there. Charlotte Christian, who is loaded. And then, of course, you get to Shelby. I mean, it's crazy when you think that a Shelby is number 7 in your rankings. The talent level that they have, the Division I talent level that they have on both sides of the ball, the extremely well coached. I mean, Butler, the team that is always up there, that you can't, they're just always there. They're always good. They never have a letdown. Mallard Creek, Hickory Ridge, big questions for Hickory Ridge. They graduated 4 or 5 offensive linemen, however you want to look at it. They graduated a bunch of DBs. How are they going to respond? They still have Christian Hamilton. They still have good linebackers. But how are they going to respond to some of those huge losses that they're going to have to replace? Kings Mountain, huge test. Obviously, Friday night. Is it Friday or Saturday when they play Shelby? Saturday they got it.
It's Friday.
Friday night
for now. Everyone's been moving games because of rain. So.
And then from everything I heard, Audrey Kell looked really, really, really sharp in their scrimmage last week. That's 12 really good football teams and programs, more so than teams. These are teams that have been around for a while now that are consistently really, really, really good.
Absolutely. Producer, welcome. Welcome to everyone saying that I don't know what I'm doing.
Hey man,
what do you got any thoughts here?
Well, there's no coincidence. I mean, this list right now is full of perennial powers. I mean, these there are no one-hit wonders in this list. These are all programs with sustained success. I think the one that stands out that I am really intrigued by is Mallard Creek. I'm curious to see if they kind of return to their former form. And their last couple of seasons, had it not been Mallard Creek, nobody would have really had anything to say too much about the records and things. But because of their past and success, people have a lot to say. But I think they're gonna prove this year. I'm thinking that they haven't fallen off. They just had a little setback, but I'm really intrigued to see how close they get to returning to form. And then I want to commend Mr. McClamrock, because I know he had to channel all the integrity he had in his body to get on here and make a positive comment about A.L. Brown. I know that took a lot. So I just know, if anyone has anything to say about who you are as a man, they can look no other than that. The past few minutes, he literally said something nice about A.L. Brown and meant it.
Pep, you got to delete that part out, right?
And now they're standing there. They have no bulletin board. They got no bulletin board material.
None. Well, how are they going to beat North Tech now?
Yeah, they can't post that. They can't. They're sitting there watching this, counting on something to motivate them to hear you golden compliment. They got nothing. You literally hurt their game plan, man. They got nothing. They're just standing there with their hands up, like, what do we do now? So, yeah, man. But I'm curious. I mean, you got all the perennial powers here. I think I can call Hickory Ridge sort of a newly appointed perennial power. I mean, they've been pretty consistent lately. So, but yeah, I mean, this right here is as you'd expect it. But we know how lists go. Sometimes people fall out. Sometimes the teams you expect to stay at the top don't. So, and then some up and coming teams looking to knock them off. So, that's just how it is. A couple teams going to fall out, a couple teams going to jump in. So that's the beauty of it all. But what it is, man. If no one says you don't know what you're doing, then you really don't know what you're doing. So that comes expected, man. So you must be doing something right.
Well, Derek Chambers, I love you, man. I think you're a great dude. But what's y'all's opinion on that?
I mean, based on recent bodies of work, I think it's justified based on the last couple of seasons and who they got coming back. It's only one spot, but I can't argue with having Butler one spot above Mallard Creek for now. Today, let's play some football. We can come back and revisit it. But based on the last couple of seasons, I can't argue with it too much.
And Pat, we have seen some dudes that have been at our camps from Butler. I mean, they have dudes everywhere. Mallard Creek has dudes everywhere. I mean, that would be a heck of a football game to watch between those two guys.
Now, and I know what you're going to say next. You're going to talk about the playoffs last year, but that was last year. This is based on this year. It's based on this year, and we love Mallard Creek. That's why we had our camp there.
Right. Amazing coaching staff. Pep, super hospitable to us. The team moms, shout out to the team moms. Mojo's Bomb and Company.
They have a great AD. I know him a little bit. He came from Harding. So oh, goodness.
The great news is, Pep, any person is only going to think that you're wrong about one team. That's it. You're only wrong about one team. So
1 out of 12, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good, Pep. But everybody's going to think you're wrong about one.
So like I said, Derek, it's open. You can post your rankings, and I will love to have you share yours, and we can talk about that. Let's see. On Football Focus Weekly, we're keeping it as a thing. Yes, we are, absolutely. But like I said, anyone watching the show, you can post your comments or post your rankings, and we'll put them up. We got time. Hey, we unlike other shows, we don't have to answer to anybody. So we can do what we want to do on this show. All right.
Hashtag other shows.
Well, there's more than one now. I'll tell y'all about that later.
Oh,
Derek.
Oh God, man, this dude
Derek,
hating on you, Pep. I need to hang out with Derek, man. I'm starting to like Derek.
He is a great guy, man. He's passionate about his team. That's nothing wrong with that. We love that.
But that's the beauty of a preseason poll. Once we start playing some football and get a few weeks in and get a few games out there, then we'll see. Maybe he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. Maybe he's spot on. But once we start playing some games,
I'm giving him the chance to say if he's right. But we ain't got no rankings yet, so we don't know. So right now, as chat administrator said, Pep is always right. You know, he missed a little L in there, chat administrator. But that's okay. You know what you're saying. All right. Eric, you know, I said Crest was really close. Crest was really close.
Prefaced your polls with Crest was a bubble team. Prefaced it.
They're 13, number 13.
I mean, you know, you might have missed that part, but that's okay. You know, Crest is really close, man. They're really close. I love what they're doing up there. I love, you know, the new offense. You know, I used to be a spread guy, so, you know, that'll be a lot of fun to see down there in Cleveland County. All right.
So, in the comments,
Big Shelby is literally begging to get on. So, all right, we're gonna let Big Shelby have his time.
Might as well give him the screen, Pep.
I should, but
you know, Kenneth and Brandon. Hey, Kenneth and Brandon, I hope y'all having a good night, man. I hope y'all had a good day today.
But pretty good, man. Good to see you.
Kenneth, I know you watch a lot of football, Kenneth and Brandon, and it's just hard to believe how, like, take for instance, right? Who won the national championship last year? Was it Bama last? No, Georgia won that championship, right?
Georgia. Yep, Georgia.
Who came in preseason number 1? Georgia or Bama. I don't understand how we finished number 1 in your dirty dozen last year, but we start the year at number 7.
Y'all finished number 1 last year?
Yes. We're the only team that won.
This ain't based on last year.
But how we go from 1 to 7 though?
Oh, Big Shelby. Quarterback back, receivers back, linebackers back.
Not only we had the number 1 quarterback in the state of North Carolina statistically in passing yards and touchdowns.
How do we get the best DBs in the whole state, Big Shelby?
Maybe it's secretly a ploy for him just to motivate you guys to repeat.
Well, hey, you know, I don't know what jersey is on that kid in that picture, so I'm gonna keep my comments to myself. But you know,
it's Kings Mountain. Kings Mountain.
You know, I ain't gonna speak on no kid. I've been told to keep my composure, but I'm not gonna let nobody get me out of my shell that I'm in right now because I'm focused. I'm laser focused on the task right now. You know what? Even to be number 7 in yours, because we're number 5 in Max Preps, but I know you better than Max Preps. So you know, I'm happy to see a lot of these teams up here.
If that jersey was King Mountain, you can respond on the field really soon. So
you know, a lot of things gonna be shut up by Friday, but you got man, we gotta let it play it out. Though.
I was gonna say you can talk with the pads real soon.
Yeah, we're gonna talk with them pads, man. So you know, it's all good. You know.
All right, so Derek Chambers has posted his rankings. Here we go. Chambers, Huff, Shelby at 3. Mallard Creek 4, Weddington 5, Providence Day 6, Hickory Ridge 7, Charlotte Catholic 8th, RGKL 9, Christian 10, South Mech 11. And
you didn't have to read no further. I think that's you could have stopped at Big Shelby.
Oh man, so if you're watching the show, which rankings do you like better? Mine or Derek Chambers?
Derek, you good with me, Derek?
I knew he was gonna say that.
But I'm just saying, Pep, how much did we lose to get bumped back 6 spots?
Dick Shelby, it don't carry over. It's a new year, man.
So what are you basing it off of? But you said, quote unquote, if we pay attention to Charlotte Catholic and how many college players they have on their team. Charlotte Christian, yes. I understand that.
You're getting your private schools mixed up, man.
Hold on. Okay, you got Providence Day 3 because I told you about them. But I'm saying, what are you basing it off of, your rankings? What are you basing your rankings off of? That's what I want to know.
The best overall team.
So if we ain't really lose nothing, how we go from 1 to 7?
You ain't real. Okay. Come on now.
Hey, you said it ain't. You said how you know you're the best overall team if you ain't played? So you got to go off last year. You have to.
No.
Returning players.
No, this.
Okay, Brandon.
That's
Returning
one.
players. Okay.
You're right. You got a lot.
If we got everybody back, but a couple guys on defense, that drops us 6 spots.
Use it. Post it tomorrow.
Print
this. Hey. Print this out and post it. Put it up on the board.
Hey, we just happy to be in the number with the Charlotte schools, man. Don't you see? We the only 2-way school. Hey, we're the only 2-way school up there, so I love it, man. It's all right. I got love for Pep, man. You know I gotta give him a hard time, man. You gotta give him a hard time.
Hold on. Hey, Derek, thank you, man. Hey, Derek, if you want to come on the show, you're more than welcome to come on the show, man. I appreciate you. You know, you have really our ratings have spiked because of our rankings controversy.
Fight.
Eric Weber. Hey, Eric, we did a whole thing with Chris. We interviewed Coach Jim back during the summer when he was down in Myrtle Beach. Was it?
They were at the beach. Yeah, they were at the beach.
Yeah, they were down at the beach, and he shouted out all those guys, man.
Brandon, that is a Kings Mountain jersey, so we're gonna take care of that Friday.
I kind of figured you might say that. I figured you might say that.
But you know, I think Cress is gonna be a sleeper team, though. I think Cress and Mallard Creek gonna be sleepers.
Mallard Creek's number 9 right now. How can they be a sleeper?
I'm saying as far as Charlotte goes, I think they're gonna beat more teams than people think they are. I think. No, we always can be wrong, but Pep is always right.
They got those other 2 teams in their conference still.
Yep,
All right. Let's see here. I'm getting these comments are crazy. Me and producer gonna be there tomorrow. Okay, we go and trust me, I'm excited to see that team in action. I am very excited to see them in action tomorrow, and we get ready to talk about it here in just a minute. All right, we got anything else on the?
Hey,
we got anything else on the Dirty Dust?
No, I would say one thing though.
Hey, if you're watching, get on Facebook, man.
Hey, I would say one thing though. I'm only going to address this one time this season, so I'm gonna get it out the way now. I see the comment talking about you only play Highland Tech and Bessemer City, right?
Hold on, let me put it up. Hold on.
Hey, that's great. But when you go 15-1, it's more than just 2 schools on that schedule. And I want people to understand that. It's not about who you play. It's about what you do when you get to see the team y'all talk so much about. All right? So, it ain't about who you play. But Miss Melissa, I wish your kids best of luck this season. I hope nobody gets hurt for your kids. I wish them the best Thursday and Friday. And we just since we don't play nobody, we just gonna figure out what happens when y'all get y'all shot. That's all it's gonna say.
Is Shelby the most hated on team in the whole state? I mean, I don't get it. Y'all get why is that? I don't understand it.
Because Kenneth, you coach, you know what I'm saying? Now, this is what I want people to understand too, Kenneth. Up until 2019, I want to say, Shelby, Burns, Crest, Kings Mountain were all conference games. Mm-hmm. It was all in one conference for about 25 years.
No, it's a good conference.
That's one conference. The 1 year our school in the county is like, hey, we want to try to win in other sports because it's a money thing with the Wachovia points. If your school wins like the most championships or something like that, your school gets X amount of dollars the next year. So the 1 year we play somebody, all of a sudden we don't play nobody. Then they say, let's move up. Pep, I know you worked in Charlotte, and Kenneth, you worked at, a bigger school. We only have 600 kids.
And 500 of them are athletes.
Hey, we barely scraping 2A. Hey, we barely got the numbers for 2A. You see, we went little 2A. We barely got the numbers, man. I don't know what people want, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all honesty, watching Shelby play, coaching against them, watching them play in person last year versus South Point out of South Carolina. Shelby is as talented of a football team as any team there is in the state. The difference is maybe, and I don't know, Webb, and this isn't, the difference would be is do they have that depth like some of those bigger schools that are 3 times, 4 times, 5 times your size? But first team versus first team, Shelby is as good as any team you'll see. Top down, they're coached extremely well. The kids play hard. They believe in their program. They believe in their staff. The community loves them. Shelby, I don't know why people hate on you, man.
I don't understand. I mean, Kenneth and Pep, and Bray, y'all can get me wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know why you would want a coach on your staff who feel like they can't win the game on a Friday, no matter who you playing.
Every game.
You wouldn't.
I won't shut up. Hey, I won't shut up to the night that you beat me, because the next day, see, that's what people don't understand. Tradition is year after year after. You might can get us one year, but can you do it again? Can you do it again? Can you do it again? And no team can do that year in, year out. Just beat us every year.
I mean, the proof for me was last year was the South Point game. I mean, they literally went toe-to-toe with the eventual 4A state champion and hung in there. They got down, clawed their way back.
Down big. We got down big.
They were in the game. So, like you said, the depth is really the difference. Just talent for talent. They was right there, and we're in the game at the end. So
I will say, for a lot of the Charlotte people that say, why y'all don't come play teams in Charlotte? When is it? We spoke to quote unquote.
Hold on, no, don't get yourself in trouble. Hey, I'm gonna be your girlfriend pinching you on the side of the leg. Don't do it.
She had a certain team inquired about us, and we inquired back, and we was told for RPI purposes, it does not help nobody in Charlotte to play us. Because now with this RPI stuff, it's all about strength of schedule and who you play and who your opponents play. So because of our schedule, it's not going to help a team if they play us. That's the reason why a lot of Charlotte schools don't play us.
I want to know who it is after the show ends. I could probably.
That's
we do the best in the comments. Oh my God!
South Point played us because we got history, because we played South Point before. So
hold on. Now tell the whole truth there, Webb. Who set that game up?
We did. Kenneth,
hold on.
The engine set that game up, and Big Shelby helped. And that game is the reason why we got the number 1 seed and never had to crank up the bus.
It's true.
Hey, you know what? Here we go. Aiden Ramirez. That's why we spotlight Aiden Ramirez right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. Defensive lineman for South Point. What happened between 7:30 and 9:30 on a Friday night? That's right. Aiden, thank you. Thank you, Aiden.
Aiden, I wish you the best this year down there at South Point, man. Y'all, I told them last year or 2 years ago that y'all are a tough team to beat at home, and nobody wanted to listen to me. Y'all made a little run.
One of the most tradition-rich programs in the state of North Carolina as well. I think they've had 6 coaches in 60 years.
I think we'd have had 10 in 100. Maybe less than that.
And we got a first-time commenter. I got a highlight before we move on right here. The McClamrock brothers.
Yeah.
What's up?
We're in trouble now.
What's a Hoya?
What's the Hoya, man?
I might recall him in here. Let him know that you acknowledged it.
Yes, sir. Where the boys at, man? Where are the boys at, man?
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Where are the boys at, baby? Where are the boys at?
I want to know what a Hoya is.
Oh, here they go. Here they go right
there
here.
You go. That be what you just asked.
Hey.
Hey, who's commenting if they both was right there?
They each got their tablets.
I love the show, and I love Kenneth McClamrock. That's what I'm talking about, man.
That's all right, man. That's all right. That's all right. All right. Good stuff, man. Okay, man.
I still want to wait now.
Whew. How do we move on from that? Derek Chambers, you making my night, man. You making my night, Derek Chambers. You're all right with me. You're all right with me, man. All right. Let's look at week 1. Game previews. Okay, man. We got some good ones going on. Hopefully they're all going to be played as they are scheduled, but as of today, we started to see games being moved because of rain forecasted for Friday night. So some games being played Thursday, some games being played Saturday. Most games are scheduled for Friday night. But we'll try to keep you informed on social media if a game moves. And if you see one move, let us know so we can, share that with everybody. Okay. All right. So first of all, tomorrow at the Charlotte Kickoff Classic at Memorial Stadium, we got Dutch Fork and Huff. What a matchup in Week 1. Dutch Fork is playing this game. We all know that Coach Tommy Knox loves to come to Charlotte. Where he reigned supreme for so many years, brings his team back to play. Tomorrow night does look like we're going to be okay weather-wise. So traditionally, the Charlotte Kickoff Classic has been delayed hours into the night with rain and thunderstorms, but it looks like we'll be okay. So I do know, Knox was not very happy with, teams in South Carolina because he's had trouble scheduling games in South Carolina, which is why he's coming up here to play this game. And he's also playing a couple games after this out of the state. And he has said some comments where he is going to remember that when he gets into the playoffs. So a lot of us, have experienced Tom Knox when he's motivated, and it can be interesting for sure. But when you look at the game on the field, Dutch Fork has a great running back in Green. He has several college offers. They have Appler that's coming in to play quarterback this year. He's a great size kid, about 6'4", really strong arm. But it's his first year in the Knox system. And if you're going to play Dutch Fork, you want to play them early on before they kind of get things, going and become that well-oiled machine we all know a Knox offense can become. For Huff, we know what they have. We know about Tad Hudson. We know about J.T. Smith. We know about Markel Quick on the outside. We know about Brandon Palmer coming off the edge. I think the biggest key for Huff here is obviously stopping the run and forcing that first-year quarterback to, to beat them with their arm. And obviously Huff has been known for having some great DBs. Those DBs will definitely be put to the test against, a Tom Knox offense. So it'll be interesting to see the chess match. I'm really, really excited to see that. Knox against, Chachi Sullivan on the defensive side of the football, and then Huff's offense going up against a Dutch Fork defense that, is usually pretty good, obviously, with the pedigree that they've had. But I think, Huff can do some things against them offensively, getting their guys in space and keeping the chains moving. Comments, guys. You guys are crazy. So what do you guys think about this one?
I think it'll be the good first round matchup, obviously for Huff too, because Huff they lost a lot of DBs, so it'd be a good game for the young guys to see if they're ready or not. I think with Dutch Fork having a new quarterback, and Huff having new DBs, Huff D line needs to get pressure to take to make it a little easier for the DBs. But Dutch Fork does have multiple weapons, and I'm sure they're coached up. Even though the quarterback is new, I'm sure he coached up and ready to go. I'm sure if he couldn't do it, he wouldn't be the guy. So I think that's a great game for both of them to get started with.
Well, it's what we've wanted to see for a long time. The best in North Carolina going against the best in South Carolina. And it's a game that is going to be a super fun game to watch. I hope the weather holds out. But that should be an extremely fun game. Of course, anytime Tommy Knox comes back into town, everybody's excited. He won a lot of big games, versus Butler, versus Richmond County come to mind that I was at in that stadium. So this is huge, once again, not just for North Carolina to show off how good we are, but more importantly, to show off how good the 704 and the city is. That we can match up versus the best of the best in any state.
Karen Belk sharing she has the pull for Tommy Knox, obviously. Independence pedigree there. Let's see. Eric Weber is posting. Well, we'll do that at the end of this segment here, Eric. We'll post your picks there. If you got picks for these games, sure, go right ahead and post them. We'd love to see that. Let's see. Terrence Losh, good comment here. Huff has more talent, but TK will make some coaching decisions that will push them over the top in the second half. Advantage TK. All right. Thanks for watching, Terrence. Always some good information there, man. Hold on, not that one. Let me get this one. Joe Hughes, south of the border. All right, Joe.
My man, Joe.
These comments are coming in fast and furious, man. All right, Fred Brown. Don't forget Creek went to Dutch Fork and took their heart away until you guys, man. That was from a couple years ago. It was a tie game. I think it was 27-27. And then Lightning came in, and Lightning's the worst. And with that, Lightning by far is the worst thing. You can play in rain, you can't play in lightning. So, let's see here. All right, let's go to the second game. Valley Creek versus Myers Park. This is the second game. So the first game starts at 5, and then the second one is at 8. That's the way it's scheduled. Hopefully, we'll stay on schedule. We talked a lot about Valley Creek, obviously, in the last Dirty Dozen segment. Myers Park is highly ranked in a lot of rankings that I see. I don't have them ranked in the Dirty Dozen, but I think they have good talent coming back on that team this year. Obviously this is going to be a game to really kind of start putting together the pecking order in Charlotte in the early season. Valley Creek coming off a good playoff run. We know they've got a lot of talent. We've seen them up close. Myers Park, we've seen a couple of their guys up close in the offseason at camps and things of that nature. I watched a lot of stuff kind of going in, to this preview. And the biggest thing that I think is the key is, obviously the quarterback with Justin Wheeler coming over from Latin and getting, into that Creek offense. And if he's able to integrate himself, we know how talented he is throwing the football. The weapons they have on the outside, the big offensive line they have, and we've talked about the defense. For Myers Park, it's going to be imperative that they protect Jamin Smith. He's been on the team, but this is his first year, obviously, being the starting quarterback. That offensive line has a tough task in trying to protect him in this first game in a showcase, type of atmosphere. Myers Park going to a kind of spread air raid type of system under Coach McManus. I think he'll mix in some things for Smith to get his feet wet from a zone read option, type of thing. Those are the things he does well. But that's going to be the big key for me. How does Myers Park consistently move the football against this Mallard Creek defense? I think Myers Park has a great DB in Austin on the outside. And they've got some kids with some size up front, but Creek can match that size on the offensive line. I'll be interested to see how well Creek runs the ball as well. I love Tomar Bivens in the backfield. Ever since I saw him from his JV days, I really like Valley Creek's chances here at first glance. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, I think this is a statement game kind of for both teams. I think with people with Mallard Creek getting a lot of publicity or them feeling like people are talking down on them, I think this is a good game one for them to show people that they're probably here and ready to be back on top. With Myers Park going through coaching changes or losing kids or things like that, it's a statement game for them as far as for people to see what they're going to have this year. I think Mallard Creek, I like Mallard Creek in this one, but you just never know how games are going to go with the weather and things like that. So weather obviously always plays a part if you're more of a heavy pass team. So, I just think Myers Park still has to show people that they are who they are, and Mallard Creek had to show people that they can get the job done.
No, I think you hit it, Coach. Both these teams have something to prove, right? Mallard Creek wants to prove that they're back, and Myers Park wants to prove that they can come back from all the mess of the past couple of seasons. It'll be interesting to see how, at the end of the day, it's not Coach McManus versus Coach Tinsley as much as it's 16-year-olds versus 16-year-olds. Which 16-year-old can handle the pressure and not burst whenever the ball comes their way. But I would probably tend to agree with Webb there. I think I like Mallard Creek there. I just think that they have so much coming back defensively. They are so good. And Myers Park has gone through a lot. But we'll see.
Well said, man. Thank you, guys. All right, moving to Saturday, Chambers playing Cardinal Gibbons, rematch of the state championship game. A lot of us know what happened in that game. Cardinal Gibbons coming out victorious. I tell you, man, it's really interesting to see a championship game rematch in week one. It's kind of like Panthers Broncos when they played in the Super Bowl, and then next year they came back and played week one. And I know we don't want to talk about that, but
nope.
That's what I was.
We don't.
That's what I was thinking. Well, I said it now anyway. But talking about weather, Joe Hughes took the words out of my mouth. But we've had some intelligence shared that Mallard Creek scrimmaged Cardinal Gibbons and they did well against Cardinal Gibbons. So I'm sure a lot of people will feel like Chambers should go out here and walk the dog with Gibbons, but I'm sure emotions will be really high. Of course, social media has helped up the ante in a lot of ways. And coming down, and this game is being played at District 3 Stadium in Rock Hill. I think the Turf King people are doing this, and you can go and get tickets on their website. You check out their social media, they've got a link. I know they were saying that it's being close to sold out, so if you want to get in there and be a part of it, make sure you get your tickets. But obviously we know what Chambers is going to do on offense. They're going to spread out, they're going to throw it around a little bit, but they can run the football. They've got big offensive linemen. It's going to be exciting to see this offense at full throttle, being led by Coach Littlejohn and his guys. And then Cardinal Gibbons, when you go back to the championship game, they had the two deep balls for the big plays, but then they really controlled the game by running the football. I mean, I would expect a similar game plan from Gibbons. I don't think they're going to come out here and throw the ball 40 times. So obviously I think the key for Chambers is shutting down the perimeter run game, because that was the thing that kind of hurt Chambers, along with the two big plays on the outside. But it's this Chambers offense reminds me of when Independence was really running well, and when they would score so fast, and then you're on the your defense is on the sideline for 30 seconds, and then they score so fast. Cardinal Gibbons will try to control the game with the run, but I mean, I can see a lot of big plays, quick strikes, and then can Cardinal Gibbons keep up with that is my question. And the weather obviously could play a role in that if it is a rainy type of situation. What do you guys think?
I think Chambers has a lot to prove still too. I know it's crazy saying that, but with them losing Hollywood, I know a lot of people are kind of skeptical about what they can do. So I'm sure they're using that as fuel, or just other guys trying to step up and make plays. I think this game is going to be very emotional, obviously, with them already playing twice and Cardinal Gibbons getting the best of them the last time. I think the first quarter is going to be off pure emotion. So the guys and the coaches have to make sure that they don't let their emotions take over the game, because you give up a couple big plays early for touchdowns, it might be hard to fight back. So if Gibbons trying to establish the run, I'm sure Chambers knows that. I don't know if that was their game plan because of the weather. They just try to be more dominant on the ground or what. So you really don't know what you're going to expect, but you probably know it's a good thing because you can prepare for the run that they did. I'm sure they ran a lot of run plays in that state championship game. Then in the first game, probably they'd be prepared for the passing attack. So I think it'll be a good game. I think it's cool to see the state championship rematch again. Those guys has built a little rivalry going head to head. So I think Chambers want to just try to still show people that they can get the job done no matter who's playing for them or who's not playing for them. And I think Gibbons wants to show people that the championship game wasn't a fluke. So,
Pep, you got one of the most explosive offenses in the state in Chambers between the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. We know, or we've heard, that the stable of running backs is deep as well. Plus, we know, and Coach Little, John, now coaching that offense, man, that was so much fun to watch. His South Point offense, they did so many different things. They were smooth and fluid, and you could see what he was trying to do, and he was able to add some tempo to it. And with the quarterback that he has, once again, he's going to have a lot of quarterback designed runs that can hurt you. I mean, Bubba can hurt you. And then you add the fact that they've got an incredible linebacker core. Chambers, man, this is going to be a heck of a football game. And I don't know that, honestly, Chambers doesn't run away with this one on Saturday.
I was thinking the same thing. Chambers definitely going to be motivated. No, I was just saying that Chambers, I kind of gotta agree with Webb's sentiment about, despite losing an amazing player, that I know they just want to show people, hey, we lost an amazing guy, but we're still here. We can still get it done, So they're gonna make that statement. And I feel they're gonna make it real early, real soon too.
All right. Well, it definitely will be, a fun game to watch. Make sure, like I said, get your tickets through Turf King down there in Rock Hill District 3. So the 2 games. The second game will be a good one to watch as well, with Gaffney going against South Point, South Carolina.
I don't know. Does Cardinal Gibbons, do they have a good social media team or no? I don't even know.
I hadn't seen much from Cardinal Gibbons' social media. All right. Let's go to the next game. And this one is special. Me and producer are going over to Independence. And this one is for the Queen. She said she was going to cover this game. She told me back several weeks ago, before she passed. So we're going to go cover Independence, hosting J.M. Robinson. Seeing J.M. Robinson, I saw him up close, obviously, last week in their jamboree. And then I saw, a few of their highlights against Forest Hills in the jamboree up at West Cabarrus. And I thought they had some good, plays at both. I feel like they rotated a lot of kids at both scrimmages that we saw. I feel like their running back is a pretty good looking player, along with obviously David Hobbs, who we talked about earlier. Independence, I mean, they went down, to South Carolina, and they played well against Gaffney in their scrimmage, and they led in the second quarter against those guys, and that is one of those things that was very impressive coming out of scrimmage season. Whether Gaffney was rotating guys in or not, that's one of the top programs in South Carolina. And, for Independence to go down there and play well, as Joe Hughes is saying right here, he heard, good things about Indy versus Gaffney. So, I'm excited to see, this version of Independence being led by DJ McFadden, for sure. What do you guys think?
I think this will be a good game as well. Shout out to Jay and Robinson, the 2A guys. We all got to stick together. But I think Jay and Robinson, I think they're gonna be they're a pretty good team. And anytime you can rotate a lot of guys as being a 2A team, that just speaks volumes of how many kids you have and just like how deep you are. Because most 2A teams aren't deep. I think it'll be good for Independence. Coach McFadden, a lot of people been hearing a lot of good things about what he's been doing. You can see the growth and development of all those guys that he's been bringing in there, trying to bring the culture back from whenever he was there in his days, him and Coach Rankin. So those guys, I mean, I'm excited to see what Independence does. I think Independence must win this game because a loss this early with this team might can hurt you if you have a good run as far as the rest of the season go for playoffs. So, Independence needs to not take JM lightly. And I think JM Robinson should go in with the mindset that, hey, we can get the job done as well. So, but with them going against Gaffney, I think that's a good test for them, going against them and having a lot of good things from that scrimmage. So I'm sure they're not going to shy away from this moment at all.
Webb mentioned 2 college football teams a little bit ago, Georgia and Alabama. J.M. Robinson has a defensive end with offers from Georgia and Alabama and Devin Hobbs. They've got a defensive nose tackle with an offer from Georgia and Debo. They had a transfer in from another school in the county. They have a heck of an outside kind of guy, kind of an edge rush type of guy in Herrera. They have a much improved offensive line, which has been kind of a struggle for them the last couple of years. They do have a brand new quarterback. They've got a new running back, and they've got some young, really talented receivers. J.M. Robinson is going to be a heck of a football team. Independence has a lot of high-powered players as well. I mean, Pat, we've seen their wide receivers. We've seen their tight ends. We've seen their quarterbacks. We've seen of course, the defensive line. The linebackers have all been in our camps, and they have been impressive at every single one of them. Webb hit it on the head. Kudos to J.M. Robinson for scheduling a 4A team. This game was supposed to happen last year, didn't because of COVID reasons. It's happening this year. D-Rob is wanting to go up against the best that he can get on a schedule, and this is going to be a great test for both teams. I think Webb hit it on the head. It's a little bit more important for Independence, probably because of that 2A versus 4A deal and the league that they play in. But this should be a very good football game. The Queen would have loved it.
Absolutely. So, we're excited to be there. And we'll remember the Queen absolutely. And she'll want us to get every highlight we can, especially for her boys, the Patriots. So rest in peace, Queen. This one's for you. And we're excited to be at Independence High School on Friday night. All right. North Mech is going on the road to take on A.L. Brown. I thought this was an interesting game right here. Kenneth, you said the things you did about A.L. Brown earlier. North Mecklenburg, we've talked a little bit about them with the New North slogan that they've got going on. And you talk about social media. Their social media game is up. And, I've seen some things that they've put out that have been pretty cool. This is an interesting matchup. I think both of these teams are athletic. They've got some playmakers on both sides of the football. What do you guys? Oh, well, Chat Administrator already weighing in right here. Thank you, Chat Administrator. What do you guys think?
We talked about how much explosive talent A.L. Brown has this year. Their receivers are pretty stinking good. They've got a pretty good offensive line. They have a good running back, young quarterback, whoever that will end up being Friday night. There are some places on defense. You lose 2 Division I outside linebackers. You got to find a way to replace them. But A.L. Brown, I mentioned earlier, I think is the best A.L. Brown team that they've had in maybe the past 10 years. North Mech. I mean, Pep, I told you last year, we got to get Darryl Vereen on the show because there's something brewing at North Mech. This is not the North Mech.
I thought we had him on the show.
That's what I said last year. I told you we had to get him on the show.
Oh, we had him on the show. Okay.
We got him on the show because I saw him play. I was super impressed. They're doing some great things. One thing that is interesting to my North Mech up in their social media game. A.L. Brown has had the best social media team for a long time, for years, and they've been really quiet. So I don't know if that's because they feel there's something special that's bubbling, and they just don't want to go overboard with it yet, or what. I don't know, but that's gonna be a heck of a football game as well.
Yeah, I think North Mech has been one of the teams I've been following for a while. Well, with this summer race as of late, because I feel like they're just trying to get back on top, or they're trying to have some dominance here in Charlotte. I feel like a lot of people have slept on them, probably been calling them just a basketball school and things like that. So I'm sure those football guys and coaches, I've been seeing them. It seems like they're ready for war this year. And this is a great game. They start off with A.L. Brown going against a school and a team that has a lot of rich tradition. I feel bad if A.L. Brown score because the first thing you're going to hear is that cannon go off. So I hope the North Met guys are ready for that if they give up a touchdown. So, I mean, I think this is a good game for North Met to start off their season. You know, they get to go against some tradition. So if they can beat them, they can show people, hey, we've beaten tradition and we're here and we're not North Met guys of the old days that you may be used to. So I think this will be one of the best games that are happening.
All right, good stuff. All right, we got another screen. We're going to go rapid fire through these. So, All right, Palisades at Westmech. This is obviously the first game in Palisades history of going over to Westmech to play. So I wish, Palisades best of luck and congratulations on starting a new school, a new tradition with the Pumas. I saw Westmech in the Gaston County Jamboree. I thought they did some good things. They beat Stuart Kramer 14-10. Coach Beatty Waddell the fourth. Those guys playing well coming out the gate. This is a rivalry game. Providence at Ardrey Kell. Those schools do not like each other. Playing at week one, I think, is great. They used to be in the same conference in the SOMEC. I'm glad they found a way to keep each other on the schedule. There will be a lot of, I think, students on both of those sides in the South Charlotte rivalry. Weddington at Charlotte Christian, I think, is a really good football game between two top-ranked teams in the Dirty Dozen, both very well coached. I think that game will kind of tell us about where those schools are starting out the season. Kenneth, I want to ask you about Ashbrook and Concord. This game is being played at Webb Field.
My middle school
Where
field.
is Webb?
My middle school
okay.
field. Pep, it's where the old high school was, off of Marsh Avenue. Webb Field is actually off of Academy Street. So if you know Union Street, which is the street that runs right down the middle of downtown Concord, it's about 1 mile from downtown Concord. If you know where the Boys and Girls Club is, you turn at the Boys and Girls Club, and it'll take you right to it. It's where I played middle school football. It's where I played boys club football growing up. It's where I played baseball in high school. But Webb Field is actually the Webb Field is named for an early coach from the Concord Spiders, which is where the name Spiders came from. His name was Webb, and they became known as Webb's Spiders, and that's how the mascot. There are only two Spider mascots in the entire country: Concord High School and Richmond. That's where it came from. So I've had a lot of old timers, and when I say old timers, I mean old timers that have reached out saying that they're going to that game. Who played there. I think the last time they played a game there, it had to be back in the 60s, Pep. I mean, so we're talking about guys who would be at least close to 80 going to these games, or guys who grew up going to those games, as little kids. One of the special things about Concord, Kannapolis, is that you grow up going to those games, wanting to wear those colors. So it'll be special. Spacing will be extremely limited. I don't know that you could fit 1,000 people in the bleachers.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
First Assembly played there when Mike Minner was their head coach. Semi-pro teams have played there over the years. I don't know that they play any football games there anymore. Maybe they do. But it'll be a special game for a lot of old timers in Concord.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
There'll be a lot of Dallas grass as well.
A lot of what?
A lot of Dallas grass. Weeds.
Oh.
Crabgrass,
okay.
grass.
right.
Stuff you don't find in my yard. But
CFI grass expert.
that's true. It's not in my yard.
There's your horticulture tip of the week from
I might have gotten into a little trouble at Webb Field as well when I was in high school, but we'll save that for an after-hours night.
Central Cabarrus Mount Pleasant.
Ooh.
Kenneth, that's a Cabarrus County matchup. What can you say about that?
Yeah, I never realized how big of a rivalry this was until my first year at Central Cabarrus playing Mount Pleasant. You've got teams that 5-6 miles separate them straight down Highway 49. Mount Pleasant's new football coach, Mike Johns was the coach there for, I don't know, as long as I've been alive. I think it was 25 years he was there. Retired. Daniel Crosby is now the head coach. He was most recently the head coach at Carson High School in Rowan, Salisbury, but he was Central Cabarrus's defensive coordinator for 5 or 6 years, his last year being my first year there. So these teams know each other extremely well. They grow up together. They go to church together. They see each other out and about. They go mudding in their pickup trucks together. They steal each other's girlfriends. Like, this is the game where the winner just walks to the other side's cheerleaders and you get new girlfriends, because that's how big of a deal this game is. It's at Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant has a brand new, beautiful turf field. I mean, legitimately, it's probably the prettiest turf field, just the way the colors jive with each other. They have brand new helmets, which are really, really, really spectacular. And Mount Pleasant is a school that, you talk about like a Friday Night Lights, Shelby's the same way. When 7:30 rolls around, the entire town is shut down. Like, there ain't nobody on the streets. They're all at the football games, and it doesn't matter if they're good or bad. But I think Mount Pleasant is feeling really good. They're running a split back veer offense that Coach Crosby ran at Carson. And I think they're feeling really, really good about their chances. Central Cabarrus, we talked about them last week. They've got some really good offensive players. They've got to find a couple of players to fill in some holes. And Central probably is a little bit younger than what Coach Babb wanted them to be this year, but that's a big game. That's another game where the old timers, they all go out to Hartley's on Saturday morning to talk about the results of that game.
Hartley's on 49, man. I've been there.
It's a good Hartley's. It's a good Hartley's.
Hartley's go in there with order a couple of biscuits and take a newspaper and talk about the game.
What they do, drink coffee. Now, Hartley's, you have to be careful, Pep. I've learned this the hard way. When you go to order, they say, do you want that to be medium or large? Well, that makes you assume that it's a medium naturally, right? But no, it's a small naturally. They're trying to upcharge you. And then the new thing, they're the Hardee's on 49 in Mount Pleasant. I'll say, I want a small because that's what it comes with. Fool, don't try to upcharge me. But then they'll say, do you want lettuce or tomato on it? The Hardee's on 49 in Mount Pleasant, they upcharge you for lettuce and tomato as well, which I don't eat tomatoes because that's disgusting. But they'll upcharge you for lettuce and tomatoes as well. So be careful, you Central Cabarrus folks going down there to Mount Pleasant. Plus, there's a big rivalry there because you got the Whataburger down there in downtown Mount Pleasant. And Mount Pleasant folk, they take great pride in the Whataburger in Mount Pleasant. If you've never been there, you need to be there. Get you a cherry lemon sun drop, a Whataburger, and a fry. In fact, that's what I had for dinner tonight. You can't beat it. It's the best food in the world.
Good tip.
Besides Red's. I mean, we all know Red's the best restaurant in the world, Pep.
That's right. That's right. All right, Big Shelby. Y'all got a little game on Friday night.
I ain't got nothing to say. Just be there or be square, man.
There's your Kings Mountain at Shelby.
That was some very insightful analysis, man.
I'm proud of Webb for that one.
Just be there or be square, man. The oldest rivalry in North Carolina. That's all I'm gonna say.
The oldest rivalry? Come on, Webb. Now, come on now.
That's what they said. That's the oldest. That's what they're saying.
All right. Well,
that's all I'm gonna say.
People down the road that would disagree with that one.
Just be there or be square, man. I mean, if you want to, I can give you some insight on the game. I could try to be.
Where was that last week you posted y'all scrimmage at Queens Mountain? I've never heard of Queens Mountain. Where is that? I was trying to find it on Google Maps.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
It's about 15 minutes. 15 minutes north, south of Shelby.
Oh, it's near y'all. Okay, like a little molehill, or what is it?
It's a little small. It's a little small spot on top of the hill.
Now well, I don't know if you know this. I don't like Kings Mountain either because in 1998 they beat us in the semifinals. It was the championship game. So I don't like him either.
I mean, I don't like Kings Mountain either, but I would say it's gonna be a very fun game this Friday night. Hopefully the weather holds off. Kings Mountain has a lot of speed and different running backs there trying to throw at you, so you gotta be prepared for everybody. The defense is very fast. They swarm to the ball pretty good, so you have to have a good game. County games are always good. With us only having 4 schools in our county, we pride ourselves on rich tradition and just having. We just feel like it's a great place to be. So you got Keys Mountain Shelby week 1. Then you got, I believe, Burns Crest week 2, and then Shelby Crest week 3. So, this will be first 3 weeks in Cleveland County going to be great, but it's going to be a great game Friday, man. I'm happy to see my guys. I can't wait to see my guys fly around Friday, man, in front of all the fans, and just happy to have football back. So it's a great way to start out the season, So if you're coming to the game, whether to support us or hope that we lose, hope y'all have safe travels and get there early, because parking is going to be a problem, So, we Shelby on the Shelby side, on our side, I can talk about our guys. I don't really want to talk about their guys, but, on our guys, we have a great leader in our quarterback coming back, Dayton Lee. Great receivers, Isaiah Bridges and Jakeem Hamilton, with 2 new faces that you will see, and Mylan Daniels, who's a senior, and Eli Falls, that's a sophomore. So you get to see some new faces. Offensive line, they all came back. We only lost one person. That's led by Jackie Ross, a senior center. Defensively, I don't even know where to start, man. We got so many guys over there. We got a defensive end senior leader, Tyler Boyce, that's committed to Wofford. They have our senior safety, TJ Griffin, who came to the CFI camp. He's done bulked up probably since the last time y'all seen him. He's faster, bigger, stronger. He got a couple offers. Then we have another safety, Cam Anderson, who didn't get to scrimmage in the Jamboree because of family reasons. Then we have a cornerback and Candy McGill, who just picked up his first offer. So I'm excited to see him. Then we got a safety, Tristan Tate. Nope. People know about him, but they don't. He's a sleeper guy. Put him on your watch list. We have a lot of guys that we just throwing around out there, man. And I'm just excited for the boys to get a lot of the new guys get their taste of the Kings Mountain Chevy rivalry and be able to lead their own legacy, man.
Well said, Big Shelby. Joe Hughes, I'm looking forward to the battle in the trenches. Big Baby, Boyce of Shelby, A.J. Richardson, Curtis Simpson for Kings Mountain.
Yeah, Kings Mountain has moved.
Sure.
Kings Mountain moved A.J. Richardson to defensive line. He's just been a force this summer, whether it's been at camps and scrimmages. Our defensive end, Jamie Neely, who was a rotator last year, starting for us this year, he's bulked up and put up on weight. So I think it's really going to be a good battle in the trenches. We got Jaden Borders and Jaden Pierce, Big Baby, as they call him, right there in the middle for us, who's basically going to end up being a 5-star guy by the time he finished. And we got Jamie Neely and Tyler Boyce on the outsides, the guys with experience. And on their side, they have a very big, strong offensive line with Isaiah Eskridge. That's a guard, I believe, who's picked up a lot of offers for them. They have a lot of big guys, and like in the trenches, like he said, with Curtis and AJ, it's gonna be a real good battle if you're a guy that like paying attention to the trenches.
Well said. Well said. Well, now it's time for our favorite part of the show that everyone loves. Week 1 predictions. All right, coming down the line. Barry at Westmech. Engine.
Barry.
Producer.
Barry.
Big Shelby.
I'm gonna go Barry. I'm winning this year. I'm gonna tell you that now. I'm gonna finish with the best record.
I'm gonna go with Westmech in that one. Crest at Freedom. Engine.
Crest.
Producer.
Crest.
Big Shelby.
I didn't think he was gonna have this one on there. I'm gonna go with Crest.
Put that out there. Cut that one up.
I'm gonna pick
only because my guy is the head coach at Freedom, and I didn't want to have to pick a team.
All right, this one is for the chat administrator. Davie County at Mooresville. Engine.
They're gonna be partying at the Pop. Motown, baby.
Producer.
Mooresville.
Big Shelby.
I like Mooresville.
Cut on, Pep. You've had a week.
All right, clean sweep. Clean sweep, Mooresville. I was thinking, do I want controversy? I don't want controversy. All right. I got enough. Marvin Ridge at Monroe. Engine.
I missed the previews that week. Monroe.
Producer.
Monroe.
Big Shelby.
I like Monroe. Are we just gonna keep picking all the same teams?
I mean,
No, because I'm
follow
taking
me.
Marvin Ridge.
Yo, you taking Marvin Ridge? Okay.
Mount Tabor at Richmond County. Engine.
I'm going with the Raiders on that one.
All right, producer.
Richmond.
Big Shelby.
I'm gonna go Richmond.
I'll take Mount Tabor. And the bonus.
Pat, you were starting off the season slow. You already know, man.
We'll see.
Big Shelby. We'll you know how it is.
Producer.
Don't rush me. Let me think. Nah. Almighty Shelby. I'm going Almighty Shelby. Just wanted to leave you in suspense.
Hey, y'all can pick whoever you want, man. It ain't gonna change how I feel about you, man. You ain't got to worry about being in no video.
Don't say y'all, Big Shelby. You know who I roll with.
Nah, that's a legitimate pick. That delay was for dramatic flair.
You know why not us, man? I like us every week. I don't know who else I'm gonna pick over us.
Well, I'm not asking you to pick this one. I wouldn't ask you.
Yeah. So I don't get. How about this? So since I don't get to pick in the bonus, let me add. I want to take Ashbrook over Concord.
No, you can't choose your own.
Wait, no. He can't be in the pick'em contest if he ain't picking them.
You can't choose your own bonus. Now, if you have a Pet Man approved bonus game, that's fine. But
Kings Mountain, that's Shelby. Who you got?
You got an axe?
So Pep, I feel like he just defaults. Either he gets an approved audit game, or he just defaults to Shelby because nobody's gonna pick against himself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Hey, you can put Shelby versus the Panthers. I ain't never gonna pick against them.
That better be the Piedmont Panthers. Sorry,
man.
Piedmont. Sorry.
So you got an alternate game for me?
Do I gotta? Nah. I mean, I can take the bonus. It's fine, man.
He falls to Shelby. It's just automatic. I mean,
I'm taking Shelby as well. We're gonna end this before we get in trouble.
You ain't want to do none of the Charlotte games? None of the kickoff classics?
No, we talked about them.
Oh, I was saying we ain't predict. We were just talking about the game. We didn't pick nobody.
Oh, well, I mean, no,
you don't want to
get them at some point.
On the billboard. I understand.
I'm already in videos, man.
I mean, Pep is 3-3 this week anyhow. He doesn't want to get any worse.
I know who I like in those games. If y'all want my opinion, I know who I like in those games.
All right, well, go ahead, Big Shelby. Who you like?
At the kickoff, well, I like Chambers over. Who's Chambers got?
How you gonna?
He's just saying Chambers over anyone.
It's like Shelby over everybody.
I'm getting confused because I know it's a kickoff classic is something different than the Saturday game, right?
No Gibbons, man. They got Gibbons.
I got Chambers over Gibbons.
I'm gonna help you out. Hold on.
I got Chambers over Gibbons.
All right, here you go.
I like Chambers over Gibbons. Then I like Southpoint over Gary.
And Tommy Wilson still calls Concord Rocky Cord. Rocky ain't played for Concord High School since I coached there. It's been a long time ago.
Hey, Tommy's stuck in the old days, man. You just got to mind him.
My dog.
All right. This has been a very interesting show.
Good. It's good for ratings.
Boy. It's time for best of the comments, and good Lord. we might be here. Well, Joe Hughes leading off.
Hold on now. Tommy Wilson, we're about to have beef. Don't say y'all. They know y'all in that. All I did was beat Concord every time I coached against them, and all I did was beat A.L. Brown more in my 3 years at Central Cabarrus than Concord has the last 10 years. So I don't want to hear that. Don't say y'all.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. More comments here. Lord. Chat administrator, y'all better not be picking Davey. Well, it was a clean sweep on Mooresville.
I thought about it just to mess with. I was gonna sacrifice a pick just to mess with Kyle, but I didn't. So no, I didn't. I thought about it.
Every pick matters this year, producer.
Yeah, it really does. It does matter.
Does matter.
But nah, it's legit. I thought about messing with him though.
Let's see right here. Webb said he isn't Chico the lover man tonight.
What does
Thank
that
you,
mean?
Joe.
Okay,
He's in the room though, Joe. You know.
we'll put that in there with the south of the border comment. We'll
I mean, put Joe Hughes' comment up, the recent one.
Which one? Hold on. I put it up earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Hang on, Tommy. Go ahead. Make sure you go to Singular Wireless and get you a cell phone. Man.
hey, these kids out here Googling rotary phone right now. What?
Coach Marsh, thanks for watching as always, man. We appreciate it. Let's see here. Nick Canales with their picks. Huff, Valley Creek, Cardinal Gibbons, J.M. Robinson, and A.L. Brown. All right, Nick, we'll put those down, man. We'll put those down. We'll see how you do. Let's see. Man, we got a lot to choose from here. Good gracious. Coach Hart checking in. I'm looking at these defenses. Let's go defensive coaches. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Some good defense going to be played in week 1. Let's see. Oh, man. Good gracious. Now we're going back to all the debacle. Quotes here. Good gracious. South Point's going to be a good team. Yep, you can see them on Saturday after the Chambers Cardinals Gibbons game. Melissa Armstrong checking in. My husband broke his shoulder in the South Point Shelby game in '93. Oh, good gracious. That's a hard-hitting rivalry right there.
Yeah,
I got ran over.
back when we wore those 4XL.
Oh, man.
pads.
Good gracious. DC, let the pads talk, not the numbers. Amen.
Yeah, let the pads
Amen.
talk,
Yes, sir.
baby.
Absolutely.
South Rowan
Shelby
versus
Wolf.
Parkland. Jacob, I'm going with my guy, Coach Walsh, man. South Rowan 1-0 again this year.
South Row. We got a South Rowan comment?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
Oh, yeah.
new? It must
Don't
be
skip
new.
over that comment that was just up there now.
Well, Shelby will win state in the next 3 years. All right, Brian Dalk.
We appreciate all the love.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you watching.
Hopefully we get them McCam Rock boys and shit.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out, man, if I can make that commute every day. I told you, if I can coach the handlers, I'll do it. We'll bring them up there.
Got a polo for you in the car, man.
I want a white hat. I want the camo hat.
That's gonna be a heck of a drive every day, man.
That's a long,
Hey,
long trip.
hey,
Down
hey.
85 on top of that.
Hey, state championship game ain't far from his house, man. So it'll all pay off.
Where's the state championship game?
I don't know.
When they gonna play it in Charlotte, man? That's what I want to know.
That's what out, man. We need to get that.
Pittman
play-
needs to work on that.
That would be
Imagine how
nice.
much money you would make if everybody in North Carolina plays a state game at the Panther State.
Make it happen, Pet Man. Use your influence.
It's been a while since this show has shown off their influence.
Yeah.
Well, we save it for the right times. So who's Eric Weber? Is that your brother?
Something like
Big
that.
Shelby?
My first cousin.
Oh, okay.
What did he post?
He was talking about Crest earlier.
Did he post a picture?
I don't know. This thing don't show pictures.
No. Oh, yeah. We was one game at a time, man. One game at a time, man. One game at a time.
Well, I like. He said Shelby's good at 7. I like him. Oh man. Yeah, Derek Chambers was a highlight. I appreciate you, Derek. I appreciate you, man. There was some good stuff earlier. Y'all, if y'all ain't see it, make sure you go back and watch. Let's see. Chat administrator, it's all good, Big Shelby. At least you made the list. Thank you, chat administrator. Best chat administrator in the Southeast right there. Absolutely. Let's see. All right, let's see if we got any more new ones that came in. So you shared your thoughts on that one, Andrew. So okay.
South Carolina's
Joe
got a good
Hughes with the
football team.
last. Joe Hughes with the last comment right here. Tommy Wilson, I'm still trying to get long distance with strings and tin cans. So,
Man.
Lord. All right. That being said, that's the best of the comments. On an epic night for comments on Football Focus Weekly. Oh, man. We started out ahead of schedule. Now we're behind. But now it's that time. Thank God. To slide with your favorite host.
You know what time it is. It's the real reason why we watch the show is to find out what is on our mind every week. We slime somebody or something. So let's find out this week who's done you wrong, who's made you mad, who made you upset. You know, Big Web, you got a big game this week, man. So we'll start with you. Who are you sliming on this week?
Man, I'm just sliming. It's every year, man. Kids, first day of practice, they tell me, man, it seems like kids just don't want to eat lunch, man. Kids, eat the free lunch that's at the school, please. I'm just sliming the kids who don't want to eat the free lunch, man. I don't care how nasty it is or how bad it tastes. You got to eat something to have something on your stomach before you come out here and practice football, man.
Eat the lunch. That's good words right there. Super producer, who are you sliming on tonight?
I got to go with even though it's justified, even though I get why they're doing it, I got to slime Chrysler Dodge for saying they're going to end production of the V8 models of the Charger and Challenger. It's just me. I'm a muscle car guy, but I get it. You know, the emission requirements and things like that are getting a lot heavier lately. And, you know, there's a lot of, you know, they're cracking down and moving to more electric-based engines. But just because I understand it, I don't have to like it. So I'm sliming Dodge for ending production of their V8s for the Chargers and Challengers. But so it's kind of an end of an era, even though I get it, but I don't have to like it. So I'm slamming them anyway.
I'm with you. Pep, owner of a new car, who are you sliming tonight?
Thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate that, man. You know, I did get a new car. Thank you to all of you on my Facebook page with their suggestions. I was leaning toward a Nissan Rogue, but I got a Toyota Pathfinder. It's great. But my slime is for Instacart. So, you know, I'm very busy. I got 3 jobs. I have a career job. I work, you know, in hospitality. I, you know, do this CFI, and I also work for Prep Red Zone. So I'm a very busy man. And I don't always have time to stop at the grocery store and get stuff. So I did Instacart on the app. I've done it a couple times. It did pretty good. But you go on Instacart, you choose your groceries, and then it says if you want to pick a substitution, you just choose your substitution, and they'll get your sub item, you know, and buy it for you. So I had a couple substitutions, right? So I chose the items that I wanted, and my groceries come, and the person didn't pick the right item. I mean, on the app, it's got the big picture of what I wanted. I wanted a certain type of bacon, and I wanted a certain type of bread. Wrong bacon, wrong bread, not even the right brand. It's like there's several different options of brands you can choose from, and you still get it wrong, man. All you got to do is go in there and look at the picture, match the picture to the item, and put it in the buggy and bring it to the house. Very simple. So now I've got to dedicate more time to go grocery shopping. I'm already very busy. I'm not happy about it. Instacart and your users or whatever they're called, you get my slime for not being able to follow clear and concise directions. Terrible.
Get him, Pep. You know, I think I've slimed these people before. And that is quite possibly the worst type of person in the world. And no, I'm not talking about the guy who doesn't push his buggy back into the buggy stall. I'm talking about the guy who will beep and honk and yell and cuss at a little 15-year-old girl in the driver's ed car. We're doing driver's ed earlier, well, I guess last week now, Pep. We pull up to a stop sign, and this girl is doing phenomenal. Now, she is scared out of her mind. She's nervous. She pulls up to the stop sign, and we're going over the rules. She's been driving for a little bit. I said, all right, we're turning right. So I said, right turn signal on, girl. Check to your left. Now let's mirror blind spot to make sure it's safe. Last check. And about that time, some U-Haul rented box truck behind us, this knucklehead starts laying on his horn. He's pointing his finger. He's screaming and he's hollering. And the girl starts to take off. Well, she's freaking out. She's about to cry. I slammed on the brake. I put the car in park, put the emergency brake on, and I turned around this dude who by this point has pulled up beside my little Toyota Corolla. And I said, do you see this sign above this car? It says student driving. About that time, I think he realized that he was messing with somebody he didn't want to mess with on the corner of Sylvan and Frowland Avenue. And that dude looked, and I said, student driver, dude. And he looked at me, and Pep, boy, I had to apologize to that little girl I was riding with. I said, sweetie, I'm so sorry that I got upset, but there is nobody that makes me more pissed off than some jackrabbit honking and beeping and yelling at some little 15-year-old girl who's petrified to drive a car for the first time. So if you're one of those people who honk and beep and do all that kind of mess as a student driver, you know how I feel about you now.
That ain't right, man. That is not right. They just trying to learn how to be an adult, man.
They're about learning how to get in a figure four headlock. That's what they're about learning.
All right, we got a couple slimes from the crowd here. Terrell Pinkney with a slime. This is a good one. NFHS Network gets my slime for making people pay $10.99 monthly for a swinging camera. Now follow the plays, plus on the playback, muting the audio of the entire game. Yeah. I've heard multiple complaints about NFHS. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, it's not the same in every stadium. So hopefully the consistency will get better, as time goes on. But if you can, get out and support your high school teams in person, man. Buy that ticket, buy the concessions. I can attest firsthand that money goes to support all your athletic programs. Chat administrator, I'm slumming joint NFL practices.
I can agree with that.
A lot of fighting going on.
I always thought those were a bad idea anyway. I never liked that idea anyway, really.
Let's see. We have another slime. Here we go. Karen Belt slimed the Panthers preseason game being on Friday night. Yeah, it's not ideal. Do they still show the replays of the game?
That's a good question.
I wouldn't count on it recorded.
Yeah, I hope they do, because that's tough. That's tough. Let's see here. Joe Hughes. Someone needs to tell Webb to get back in the studio. We waiting on the next Duke Deuce. Joe, you got a lot to say tonight, man. We need you. Yeah, we need to see your face.
Hopefully, I know I can depend on my boy Joe to be in Shelby, so I'll see Joe Friday. Joe got some new pants he's been wearing too. They ain't as long as normal.
Man, y'all terrible. Y'all terrible.
Joe Hughes.
Nikisha Ricks going to miss the Garinger Harding game. What boys at Rocky River? Is
that
where y'all going, Rocky River?
Hey, hot take. I got Garinger winning over Harding, baby.
Okay.
Gotta give my boy Brandon Billups some love, man.
I gotta
give Billups some love, man. I don't know. I'm just saying, Billups told me he got something brewing over there. I don't know what it is.
But I'm a Billups supporter, so hey, I'm fine with that pick.
I'm all for Garinger getting all their kids back too. Go back to Garinger, baby.
Last comment of the night. Garinger. All right. Oh, no, that's not. I'm sorry. That's all right, Joe. We just giving you a hard time, man. Congratulations, by the way. That's awesome.
New kids, new
Okay,
cars.
Garinger is the last comment. All right. Thank everybody for a record-breaking night on Football Focus Weekly. I love all the comments and interaction. It'll be like this all season long. So if you got your rankings and picks, throw them up there. We'll talk about them. On behalf of the engine, producer, and that way. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Big Show. It's week 1 for everybody.